Hello children, we were doing total internal reflection, and in my last video I showed you the diagrams of total reflecting prism in which one angle was 90 degree and other two were 45. Today I'll teach you total internal reflection through an equilateral prism. Equilateral prism means all the angles are 60 degrees each. Let this be the incident ray. It is falling at this boundary surface. So, if it is falling at 90 degrees, it will pass undeviated. It will not turn. Now it will fall on this surface of the prism. Let me draw normal at this point. Now the angle of incidence will be same as this angle, which is 60 degree. And the critical angle for glass air interface is 42 degrees. Thus, whenever the angle of incidence is more than the critical angle, there is total internal reflection. The whole of the ray is turned back into the same medium. And angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Now this ray will pass undeviated because it is falling at the surface BC at 90 degrees. Thus, this is the incident ray, this is the emergent ray. It has turned through an angle of 60 degrees. Now, my next diagram is total internal reflection through a right angle prism. One angle is 90 degrees, one is 60 degrees, and the third one is 30 degrees. Let this PQ be the incident ray. It is falling normally, so it will pass straight, undeviated, and will fall on this surface. Let us draw normal at this point. The angle of incidence is same as this, that means 60 degrees. And again the angle of incidence is more than the critical angle for the glass. So what will happen? Total internal reflection. The whole of the ray will turn back into the same medium, making the same angle of reflection. Now it is falling at this surface at this point. This is the point of incidence. Let us draw normal at this point. Now the angle of incidence is this, means 30 degree, and it is smaller than the critical angle. So no longer total internal reflection. Now normal refraction will happen, and since the ray is going from denser to rarer medium, it will bend away from the normal. So this is the incident ray and this is the emergent ray. Now the next diagram is again through a right angle prism. But the position of the incident ray is changed here. It is falling at the surface, at the perpendicular surface. So this is the incident ray. Since it is falling normally, it will pass straight into the glass medium. And it will fall at boundary along this point. If I draw a normal, the angle of incidence will be 30 degrees, which is less than the critical angle. So the ray of light will be refracted. It will go into the rarer medium, and since it is going from denser to rarer, it will bend away from the normal. So this ray will emerge like this. Now the prism is same, but now the incident ray is falling here at this surface. So if it is falling at 90 degrees, it will pass straight, undeviated, and it will fall at this point. And if I draw a normal at this point, this angle will be 30 degree. Again, no total internal reflection. What will happen? Refraction of light, because the angle of incidence is less than the critical angle. And since it is going from denser to rarer medium, it will bend away from the normal. So this is the incident ray and this is the emergent ray. Now children, we will study the differences between the total internal reflection and reflection from a plane mirror. See, first point is that total internal reflection always takes place when light passes from a denser to a rarer medium, and the angle of incidence should be greater than the critical angle for that pair of media. But reflection from a plane mirror takes place when the light is incident on the plane mirror from any medium at any angle of incidence, no matter which medium and no matter what is the angle of incidence. Now the second point is that in total internal reflection, the entire light is reflected, no loss of light. And in reflection from a plane mirror, only a part of the light is reflected while the rest is refracted and absorbed. All the processes are going on while reflection from a plane mirror. Now next point, in total internal reflection there is no loss of energy. The energy of reflected ray is same as that of incident ray. And in reflection from a plane mirror there is a loss of energy. The energy of the reflected ray is always less than that of the incident ray. This is the reason, children, why we use a total reflecting prism to deviate a light through 90 degree, to erect an inverted image, and to turn a light through 180 degree, and many other purposes. We are not using a plane mirror because in total internal reflection in a prism, the entire incident light, 100% light is reflected back into the denser medium. Whereas in ordinary reflection from a plane mirror, some light is refracted and absorbed. So the reflection is not 100%. And one more very important point. The image in total internal reflection is much brighter and the brightness remains unchanged even after the long use of the total reflecting prism. But in reflection from a plane mirror, the image is less bright and the brightness gradually decreases as the silvering on mirror becomes old and rough. That is why we prefer total internal reflection as compared to the reflection from a plane mirror. Now the last topic of this chapter is some consequences of total internal reflection. In our daily life, we observe many consequences of total internal reflection. Like on a hot sunny day, a driver may see a pool of water, a wet road in front of him at some distance. It is the phenomena of mirage which is often observed in desert. So mirage is the consequence of total internal reflection. An empty test tube placed in water in a beaker with mouth outside the water surface shines like a mirror when seen at certain angles. This is because of total internal reflection of light when it is passing from water to the air outside. A crack in a glass vessel often shines like a mirror. This is also due to total internal reflection. A piece of diamond sparkles when viewed from certain directions. This is also due to phenomena of total internal reflection. And an optical fiber is used to transmit a light signal over a long distance without any loss of energy. See children, this is the picture of an optical fiber. So the total internal reflection at the boundaries does not allow the loss of energy. So it is used to transmit the light energy to longer distances without any energy loss. Okay children, now we have completed this chapter and hope you will revise all the things done. Thank you so much.